In this video, I'm gonna be discussing Top 5 Invasive Plants, the Black Air Force of Weeds, USA edition. Let's start off with good old Kudzu, Pueraria montana varlobota. That's the scientific name of this plant. Anyway, so this aggressive plant can grow up to 1 foot per day. In fact, this plant is so harmful to the natural biodiversity, the locals in southeastern US started calling him the vine that ate the South. Like, I ain't gonna lie, once you reach a certain point in life, a couple of people would start calling you names. And for this case, a whole state is calling this plant the vine that ate the South. That's hard. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that's kind of hard. And also, you gotta remember, the problem has escalated into so much. It's just so bad. The botanists even started to regret their own decision on even introducing this plant as an erosion control in the first place. I don't remember the exact date, but it's somewhere a couple of years ago. Not a couple, but definitely years ago. Anyway, so, and also, in today time and age, this weed is now a major ecological threat in the southeastern US. This thing has spread all over the freaking land. It's now covering 3 million acres of land today. And this weed is so hard to control and just eradicate in general that you could go broke to ever attempt to fight this weed. By the way, it also known to kill off natural and native plants in that region. And it breaks power lines, and it clogs out water system, and it costs a lot of money to control. And let's move on to our second contender, Japanese knotweed. You may ask, how did a Japanese plant end up in USA? Well, these guys have been experimenting a lot with plants lately and exporting and exchanging resources and eventually exchanging plants. And now let's move on to the traits why it made very menacing and worthy of this list. So, first of the list, it has destructive roots. That's the roots. That's the roots. In fact, these roots, the roots of the Japanese knotweed, are so monstrous and just straight up very, very durable, and the girth of it can literally penetrate anything. It can penetrate through concrete, asphalt, and foundations. It's kind of crazy and kind of sus. Anyway, so fast spread. This thing can use roots, seeds, and fragments to reproduce. And no natural predators, few pests, and even diseases can infect this thing. Like, that's kind of crazy because apparently no predators and no diseases can get you. Like, imagine that, bro. You have you have no enemies, nothing to worry about, and just grow and grow and grow. And lastly, bro is so much of a tryhard, it even outcompetes and mollywops other native plants. And one thing it cannot outcome and outcompetes are trees, though. Yes, trees are a bunch of gigachads in this list. Anyway, let's move on to the third contender. Cogon grass, Imperatasari lindrica. Cogon grass. So this thing is actually very annoying in general. Cogon grass can form dense strands and crowds out native plants, basically saying, get out. And this is a firebender plant. You heard that right. A firebender. How you may ask? Well, this thing is actually encouraging wildfires. And when it burns, it spreads way faster and hotter, with flame temperatures that could be around 600 degrees or even more. And you must know, the plant's composition could make the flames go up to 20 feet tall. 20 foot 600 degrees flames, just pure hell blaze. And that's what makes it firebender. And even when burning, bro is still alive and always comes back. I'm not joking. This thing is actually durable as heck. Now let's move on to the fourth contender. And this contender is very unique because it is an aquatic plant. Hydrilla vertilata. Oh, I apologize, but Hydrilla verticillata. Alright, I'm giving up. I'm giving up with these dang scientific names. Now this, not so scary, right? But imagine that 100 times more. This thing is so fast at repopulating that it repopulates faster than Indians. And it can also alter different ecosystems, reduce oxygen, and steals it for himself. No joke. And it harms aquatic life as well. And this thing, this weed, underwater weed, it clogs infrastructures, impacts interrogations, facilities, and even freaking hydroelectric power systems don't stand a chance. That's right, you heard me right. Hydroelectric power systems don't stand a chance. And it's hard to believe, but it's also hard to it's not, it's unkillable basically. And it is very hard to control, just like the voices in your head. Now, let's move on to contender number 5, last but not the least, salt cedar. Timarix sp. laus. This thing, soda, I mean, salt cedar, has probably one of the most unique traits that makes it worthy of Black Air Force activities. Anyway, so high water use. This thing consumes massive amounts of water. Basically, Gorlak the Destroyer and Nico Avocado of the weed world. Anyway, so very gluttonous and greedy. And here is the crazy part. So this salt cedar plant is so salty, it can alter the soil chemistry and purposely makes the soil too salty for other plants to live. It does that as a mechanism to kind of like ward off potential competitors. Competitors. Let that sink in, bro. Like, how the heck a simple plant can change the very chemistry of a soil? Let that sink in. And also, since this plant is so gluttonous for water, it makes the land dry out. Wildfires at 2 to 5 times to occur. Bro actually wants no one near him because if you take a quick search on Google, a lot of the photos you could see this thing just alone in the vast lands. Anyway, this whole concept is inspired by none other CJ the Champ. So all credits to him. I really hope this series actually gets more evaluations in the future. This video is obviously low quality and no edits at all, so it makes sense why it'll not be recognized as a series.